I can't say it is a beautiful day without any clouds in the sky. The sun is shining bright. The air is nice and fresh and crisp, brisk, as my mother might say. And it's a good day to be alive in the land of the living. I did have a great thought I want to touch on today. It's one from a script he gave me. And we mentioned it in a prior recording. I think it was a prior recording, the prior recording. The process of resting and standing. And the script that he reminded me that we used in that recording was John 4:28. The Most High is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. I just saw something that was quite interesting. It said that those that will worship him, or those that do worship him, that means everybody ain't gonna worship him. And that's saying on the most part, folks are worshiping other entities, or other individuals, or other gods, other Elohims. But I do want to read over my notes. As the Most High brought this script to mind over in the morning, I thought about how we, as spiritual beings with a physical body and mind, must communicate with our Father. The first thing that came to mind was silence, something most of us are not used to. We must learn the art of being still. I picture this stilling of our mind and body as a pool of water that is without a ripple, and you can see the reflection of the sun or the sky perfectly through it. We will portray the same reflection of our Father to the world as we get still. Funny that the Most High would have me talk about a pool of water and ripples when just a few days ago I saw the rock skipping world record set on YouTube. If you have ever fished, you would spend time waiting on the fish to bite by a sport called skipping rocks. So instead of waiting patiently for the fish who were probably watching you and wouldn't dare fall for your trap, you would start trying to skip a rock over the water. Does this sound familiar at all? When we are be fishing for men, we're all playing games. To really get to the heart of the matter of worship and spending time with the highest, it takes time and sacrifice, which some of us just don't want to spend or make. Like I said before, it's an art to getting quiet / still before the Father. More like a pattern that's explained in scripts. First, Matthew 5:23 tells us, 23 and 24 tells us that if you bring your gift to the altar and there remember that your brother has something against you, leave your gift there before the altar and go your way. First be reconciled to your brother and then come and offer your gift. I have personally found this to be the case more often than not that hinders my mind from getting quiet. Unresolved issues. This could mean sin against the Father that needs to be confessed also. And that's where I stopped my notes. But I did want to talk about that a second because that had been an issue with me, or it still is. It can be an ongoing issue if it's not resolved and found. And I put it in something simple for me, something that I can relate to. It's just like riding a bike. You know, first of all, you got to stand the bike up. You got to stand it up and then get on it. So it's all about what we've been talking about the last few months, and that's posture. First, you must have the right posture before the Most High when you come to him in prayer. And the first things first, always you must confess sins. You must get all the dirt out of the way and place it before the Most High. And say, Father, I missed the mark here. I apologize. I'm sorry. I don't want to do it again, but I need your help. Help me not to do it again. And if it's something that you can do not to do it again, you need to make amends for it and tell him. Hey, Father, I missed the mark on this one. I did this. I meant to do it. I'm sorry. I see the repercussions of it, and I won't do it again. I'm turning away from this thing. And see, this is the secret key to a relationship with anybody. Even more so with the Most High, because he sees everything. See, our wives, our husbands, our family members, our friends, they don't see everything like he does. He sees it all. And when we come before him, we gotta let him know, okay, I know you already saw this. I'm not gonna try to hide it. I was wrong here. And I ask of you to forgive me and help me. And see, another thing that had been a problem for me in the past from getting into the presence of the Most High, coming to worship before him as a spirit, with me being a spirit and having a body and a mind, is those thoughts. And see, just like I spoke on the prior recording, once you start trying to communicate with the Most High, all hell and hot water gonna break loose in your area, right there in your physical locale. You're gonna start hearing voices, all kinds of things gonna happen. You're gonna start hearing the birds sing a pretty song. You're gonna hear a dog barking, traffic, everything that you can imagine. You're gonna start hearing like you got a super hearing power all of a sudden. But if you stick in there with the Most High and push that aside, it's going to be well worth it. Because to me, really, to be honest with you, it ain't nothing like being in the presence of the Most High. Nothing at all in this whole world. And something else you must realize and come to understanding of, he's not always going to allow you to feel his presence. And that's because he don't want you to get used to it and box him in. Because he's a faith God. He wants you to have faith in him. He wants you to know that he's right there with you, even though you don't get them goosebumps. You don't feel tingles up and down your spine. But every now and again, he'll allow that and let you feel that, just to let you know he's near. And so you can feel his presence. It's just like a mother holding their baby. That baby needs to feel that. That baby needs to feel that mother cuddling up on him and around him. Yeah, he can tell the difference. If that's not mama, he knows the difference. But see, the Most High don't want us getting used to that, as he is a spiritual being. He wants and needs for us to be able to communicate with him in the spirit. And like I said, it's a faith walk. But every now and again, he'll adhere to our physical being. And that's not the word I wanted to say, but every now and again, he'll let us feel him in our physical. But it goes back to what the word says today. The text of the day is, we must worship him in spirit and in truth. And see, right now, I'm just talking about the worship spiritually, getting into communication with him. But we definitely know what truth is, and that's walking out the law, statutes, and commands. Torah. Doing what the book tells us to do, not making excuses about it. Well, all that's been done away with. No, it hasn't. I started to say, no, it hasn't. But we have to start using common sense with that also, because we're not out here slaying goats, and she-goats, and cows in the backyard, sacrificing them to the Most High either. But yeah, we have to really think about this communication thing with the Most High, because coming out of the church or the European doctrine of church, we're not going to be able to treat the Most High like we treat pastor or pastor, like I say. And I told my wife, I say pastor because it's like a child on a pacifier. You need your pastor. And can't you see a grown individual with a pacifier in their mouth? That's how it looks when they needing pastor. Worrying the mess out of pastor when he should be asleep. You call him up and want to tell him about your problems. But then you go back to church and sing that the hymnal, Tell It to Jesus. How that go? Tell it to Jesus. Tell it to Jesus. All of your problems. Jesus can bear them. Jesus alone. But yeah, you get the point. But the Most High wants that position, that role, that identity, that authority in your life. Not pastor. You can't get at the pastor. And yeah, I was talking about what are some of the hindrances of getting in the spirit, I guess you could say, and communicating with the Most High. And I was saying voices and sounds. It's like everything in the book is going to be thrown at you once you start trying to talk to the Most High. The telephone going to be wanting to ring. Your chap's going to be wanting to knock on the door. Your neighbor's going to want some sugar. Oh boy. And I know I laugh about these matters sometimes, but you know, you got to laugh. And you got to learn in your laughter. But yeah, the Most High needs for us to communicate with Him in spirit and in truth, just like the text says. And don't think that truth part is just a given. Because what that means is you got to come before Him clean. And I say come before Him clean when you come before Him with the heart and the mindset to get clean. That's why I say confess at the door. And then the text goes on to say you come before Him with thanksgiving and praise. See, there's a pattern to this thing. After you confess, then you want to say thank you for not allowing me to die off in my mess. But I guess my thought of encouragement would be today is, well, I know it would be to pray to the Most High and ask Him to show you the hindrances in your life that's keeping you from your time with Him. And a lot of us don't even pray. And you can't make it in life without the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, as we say quite often. But we must make up our minds what we really want out of life. Like I said, it's quite chilly today. I left my gloves in the back of the truck. So one day I would need them. But yeah, those that worship the Most High must worship Him in spirit and in truth. And see, this is a command. It says must. That means there's no room for our opinion on that fact. And see, we're made from Him. We're a part of Him. I was thinking I'm gonna try to record most of my workout today, and maybe on into the future, but we'll see. I think it's quite motivating for some folks to see me actually riding and of course our talks and walks, and hopefully the exercise, because that's why I put it out as a motivational tool for my brothers and sisters. And see, I would like to think that if I see somebody else doing something, then I can do it too. Even if I'm at the point where I can't do it right now, like I was in the hospital. Having to learn how to walk and talk again. See, that's them ripples I was talking about. And you see what the distraction is. And mind you, that is man-made. A man-made fountain. I hope you can see all them ripples. And that's what you would call an unquiet spirit, or a troubled spirit. But that's how the fountain's supposed to look. Well, yeah. And most of the time, why our spirits are troubled is mostly outside influences. Or distractions. I think if we're in that word like we're supposed to be, we're going to start recognizing the other voices, or the outside voices or distractions that tend to try to infiltrate our minds. But as the text says, we got to cast down them imaginations and them thoughts. And you saw me showing those paint markers when I was doing my squats. A young fella came by and was marking out territory. And why, I don't know, nor do I care to start guessing. But I do know they're gonna be doing some type of work. So he was basically coming beforehand and marking off the territory. So when the workers come behind him, they already had a set pattern for how the work is to be done. And the text says this, and once again, pardon all the spitting. But in working out, I tend to spit a lot. But yeah, the text says to write up a plan and make it plain and send it out. Trying to go down a hill there, and it's quite steep. And I have to be careful walking on this brace. Well, period, coming down that hill with all that straw, pine straw on it. If it's dried up, it can be something slippery. Oh, the Most High has shown me all kinds of analogies today for communicating them to me. Just like that was a slippery slope. And I was talking about writing up a plan, making it plain and sending it out. As that text goes on to say, that's in my own words. But he was just telling me, excuse me, and forgive me if I burp or belch without saying excuse me. But yeah, he was like, writing up and making up a plan without him is traveling on a slippery slope. See, that's why the text of the day says that we must worship him in spirit and in truth. It's not about our truth. There's no such a thing as our truth, because there was a truth before we even set foot on this earth, and the truth for our lives. It was already written in a book. Now it's up to us to choose the plan A, which is the Most High's plan for our lives, or plan B, which is Hasatan and our plans for our lives. And see, a lot of folks would choose to say, there's no such a thing as a God. I'm an atheist and I stand by that decision. Okay? But you're serving the God of this world, which is Hasatan, or the Most High God. And there's no choice about it. And see, by serving yourself in your selfishness, because that's what it is, you don't want to bow down to the truth, to what the Most High says you must bow down to, as him being the Most High, the high and lifted up one, the highest. That means what he says goes. And see, we want to choose our own lives simply because we have a free will. And that's fine. But as the text also says, the wages